We recently had a home warranty company contractor come out and install this package unit on the roof. I have several concerns. One of my concerns is the way the gas line was run, or wasn't run, I should say. This is the original gas valve. Now, I did check and it doesn't leak. My concern is these things are prone to leaking, and this one's the original one, which makes it about 50 years old. When they did the installation, they turned this portion from this way to that way without really maneuvering. Actually, they turned it about a little bit more than that. It was about 180 degrees. And then they turned it back this way, so it's kind of loosened it a bit. It went from kind of tightening to loosening back up. Also, this is the original pipe dope on this. This should have been redone. You've got a drip leg that is in the wrong position. This should be downstream of the shutoff right here. Should be before this shutoff. Now the sad thing about this is, when you go to the supply house and you pick up the gas flex, a new gas flex comes with a shutoff. So it literally would have taken maybe about an extra $15 and 15 minutes worth of materials to do this right. Another concern of mine, that seam was not sealed from the outside. You can see the tape where they did a kind of a half-assed job of sealing it from the inside, and then they tape first, and then they put duct sealer over it. Problem with that is the tape, you go from the clean metal to the dirty metal, and I don't care how well you prep the old metal, it peels off after time. It needed to be sealed out here too. So that's a very sloppy job. The original mounts were wooden, and they were nailed in. Very scary. They did pull those, but as you can see right here, you're looking at a nail hole that they didn't patch. So they didn't go over the roof where the old stand was with mastic, which they should have gone over it with some hand rays to properly seal it. You can pretty much see under here where there were 3 boards that was the original stand. Fortunately, it didn't tear the roof up when it came out because it was hardly fastened to the old stand was hardly fastened to the roof at all. It's amazing it didn't fall over. Those 3 boards right there, that was what they were mounted on. That was the stand for the old air conditioning. I'm surprised it didn't collapse over those years, about 40 years. Wow. Lucky we're getting it replaced, aren't we? I'm not exactly sure what the code is pertaining to how you fasten the stand to the roof in Nevada, but I have a contractor's license that's still active in the state of California, and we have to lag bolt it in. We have a reciprocal agreement with Nevada, so if I wanted to get a contractor's license out here, I wouldn't have to take the test. I'd just have to pay the fee for the contractor's license and get the proper insurance. Now, that being said, this right here kind of bowed. They missed the beam support, which would be right about here. So they're into plywood. So they're holding this thing up by plywood. It's right here. That's plywood too. They're not properly. They don't even have a hole for that, like they have in this one to fasten it properly on the backside. Very, very concerned about that. Here's an example on the other side where they just drill screwed in. This is a high point here, so they may have actually hit the roof support on that end. And then right over here, another kind of lame attempt to fasten the back end. Now, when they pulled the old unit off, I noticed there was no insulation on this side, on the opposite side of this, which you have to have this insulated. And there was no insulation where the start collar met the bottom of the can down there. So this thing isn't properly insulated either. I did not see them insulate it, and if they claim they did, I can easily get my scope out and verify whether or not they did, but no, I don't. I did not witness them insulating that. I have concerns about their lack of proper sealing techniques. When you disturb a unit like this is the back side of the unit where the curb goes through the roof. This right here should have been sealed. This is right here where it's sealed, and you can see bare tape right there. So they're sealed where the transition meets the unit. I am not satisfied with that job either. They also should have sealed over that. They didn't seal properly over a drill screw hole either. So anytime you penetrate it, the curb and the transition with a drill screw, you should seal that up. Another issue I forgot to mention, when you penetrate the roof, it should be sealed. Should be sealed. The other side should be sealed. I would have put an elbow here and gone in, or down here and come in down low. I would have elbowed this gas flex away from the flue vent. It's just not done right that way. I would have also sealed around the sides of this unit. When you're shaking it up like that, removing the old one, better safe than sorry. Used electrical tape to seal the supply voltage or line voltage coming out of the roof. That should have been done in some roofing cement. No P-trap on the condensate line either. A little bit of concern too with this ding here. I saw it on when it was on the crane before they lifted it, so I can't blame the installers, the contractors that did this. It was like that on the crane. In their paperwork, they claim to have done a startup on the heater. They definitely did not do a startup on the heater. You check manifold gas pressure right here. It's got the factory paint on it. It hasn't been turned. They didn't start up the unit. They didn't commission the heat. And the interesting thing is about gas appliance like this, they coat the heat exchanger with an oil so it doesn't rust in the when it's sitting in the factory and when it's sitting in the supply house. So when you start it up, it's not unusual for the unit to smoke the first time around. You did a couple of things wrong here. You're not supposed to run the low voltage wires in the same conduit as line voltage. That is definitely a no-no. And they don't have a cover to protect for electrical shock. That disconnect right there comes with a cover, and they just straight up didn't put it in. Nice job, guys. Okay, right over here, we've got circuit breaker for the air conditioner. This is the only fused portion of the install. The minimum circuit amps is 27, maximum 40. So this is double the minimum circuit amps right here. Maximum of a 40 amp breaker should have been installed upon the replacement of this unit. So I am very concerned that we don't have adequate protection from the breaker due to lack of details and just shoddy workmanship. My overall assessment of the installation, I have 44 years on-hand experience in this industry. 25 as a licensed contractor. In fact, I still hold an active license in California. This is what we would call back in California a fast and dirty job. They just wanted to get in there, get out of there, and make a quick buck.